Day 2 of pre-season testing in Bahrain has just come to an end, and with it we can now finally go over Ferrari's upgrades from the first 2 days, and there are subtle changes to certain areas which you may not have spotted. Not only that, we will then discuss that they haven't even brought these substantial upgrades which we know they have planned for the second week of testing in Bahrain. Now here is a brief overview of what they've upgraded on the SF-26 in week 1 across these 2 days. They have made changes to the front wing, to the wakeboards, and have introduced a new floor on their SF-26. Let's go over that now. Now, on first glance, you may not notice some of the changes Ferrari have made to their front wing, but there are 3 main changes which we can discuss. There's been a change to the main plane, to the elements, as well as to the end plate of their new front wing. Here's an illustration of those changes on screen for you now, and we will begin with the top elements of their front wing. This is the one which moves with the actual movable aero, which has obviously the DRS effect basically. Now what they've done here is you can see there is a slight change in the curvature of the geometry in terms of the old one to the new one. This is essentially just about guiding airflow in a different manner to that of the launch specification that they had. The actual main plane itself has also undergone quite a change, with it being much more of a flattened out surface over that of the more curved introductory one that they did in the shakedown at Ferrari and of course in Barcelona. And then to finally wrap it up, Ferrari have begun to introduce a little bit of outwash to the front wing end plates. You can see this from the curvature on the tips of them as they now aim outwards as they look to guide airflow around the front tyres away from all of the more important structures in terms of airflow that they're doing on the SF-26. All in all, even though it's sometimes difficult to spot, this is actually quite a substantial change, particularly for a front wing. The way through which all of the airflow is being guided, thanks to these changes, is going to have a knock-on effect further back. Hence why we have changes as well to the wakeboard. Now the changes to the wakeboard are very, very subtle. And this will now work in tandem with what Ferrari have done to this front wing. And it's all about making sure that they're keeping certain points of the airflow that they've used to guide around and outside the front tyres is not interfering with the airflow structures from the side pod region of their SF-26. One of the more noticeable differences is that the actual stay, which is making sure this point of the car does not fall off, has been further positioned more centrally inside of the actual wakeboard rather on the leading edge or on the outside corner. There's been more subtle changes to the profile of the floor just behind that of the wakeboard, and a 4th horizontal slit has been added to the new arrangement. Now, as we know, these are some of the more important areas of the car because, again, this is looking to continue the production of outwash to make sure that the airflow structures that they do not want to be interfering with the side pods and around the floor are not interfering with that. So there is subtle additions to outwash, and it's why from a top-down view, which you can see on the screen right now, you can see that the actual wakeboard is leading all of the airflow to the outside of the car, away from the side pod region. Further back, there has also been an introduction to a brand new floor on the SF-26 for the first 2 days. The floor corner has undergone a reprofiling with 2 further bigger cutouts, which are no doubt making sure that they are managing the tyre squirt a lot better. So all in all, changes to very key aspects and areas of the SF-26 have taken place with managing the airflow and the airflow patterns that they create around the entirety of the SF-26. Of course, this is looking to achieve 2 things: an improvement in downforce and of course drag, but also making sure that all of the negative aspects are not happening, or they've reduced them with this, such as the tire squirt with the new floor that they've introduced. So this is the beginning of the upgrade package that Ferrari have been well known and documented will be bringing to the SF-26 in the lead up to Melbourne. There is going to be far more substantial changes, far more visible eye-catching changes throughout the rest of pre-season testing in Bahrain, specifically with the side pod arrangement. Apparently they're going to be undergoing a far more aggressive change. What that change entails in terms of whether they follow a philosophy such as the Aston Martin or the complete opposite end of that kind of spectrum and they go the Red Bull route. Only time will tell when Ferrari decide to introduce it onto the SF-26 and we will actually get our first look at that. But what can we say in rounding up of Ferrari's opening day in Bahrain today? Well, it was a event-free day, not only for Ferrari but all of their engine partners who are using their engines. They racked up plenty of laps, over 300 in total across all of the teams. It was very much a reliable day, going through the testing program that they had with no real focus placed on lap times. But having said that, Leclerc ended the day in the top 3, some 0.5 to 0.6 of a second behind that, the pace setting Lando Norris. But I believe that lap time was set on the slower compound tyre that they had available and they've chosen for the week. So yeah, really there's really nothing to be reading into in terms of lap times. As we know, nothing should be paid attention with regard to that. This is all about still running through their programs, making sure everything is working as they want it to. A little bit of setup work, but nothing major. And of course, no race simulations as of yet. So nothing concrete in terms of data to go through and shift through to get an inkling of where Ferrari stand. And that was very much the same message from both drivers as well. So yeah, that is where I'm going to end the video. That's what Ferrari have been up to on day 1 of the first public preseason test in Bahrain. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, do leave a like on it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the hype button if you have it. And of course, I will see you all with more Formula 1 preseason videos throughout this week and the second week of testing. See you then.